Wow. That's pretty awesome.
And you know, they really resonate with people because so many people have that shared experience of having watched The Wizard of Oz as children or with friends and family, especially around the holidays. So it's a beloved film, but I think it also speaks to sort of American characteristics. Dorothy is this sort of every woman character who's thrown into extraordinary circumstances, but she's very independent and resilient, and she learns to stand on her own and find the power within her to overcome some challenges. So, you know, the ruby slippers really represent all of that magic and glamour of Hollywood, but also some key American characteristics.
That we are not restoring the ruby slippers. We're going to conserve them. And the difference is, when you restore something, you're bringing it back to a previous state. You're adding something to the artifact. For the ruby slippers, we aren't going to do that. What we want to do is stabilize them, try to slow or stop any deterioration, and preserve them. And that's what the conservation is.
And if you could,
These are
I think you were pointing last time, yeah, and if you could explain that.
Okay, so in these are sequins from the toe of a slipper where they're opaque. We want to keep the slippers as original as possible. So adding materials can take away from that originality. I think people want to see the real ruby slippers and not ruby slippers that were modified or changed so they would look as they did when they were new. Here's a corner of a bow. That gives you a better idea. It's 60 times max, at least 12 different materials from cotton to steel. And each of these react differently to the environment, to changes in temperature, relative humidity. They react differently to light. So our job is to look at each material individually and the whole object as a whole and determine what's the best environment to preserve these in. So that means we'll probably have to control humidity, control temperature. We will be looking at light and figuring out what's the best spectrum to display the slippers in, to slow down or preserve them.
And the movie?
Always exposed to light, and those that weren't, and the color difference, the color shifts, and the change in its translucence. They were made as movie props, so movie props are made, I would imagine, at that time usually quickly and not to last. So now we're taking something that was made not to last and trying to save it and preserve it forever.